All right, I think we're live. Hey, everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, just sitting here drinking my morning coffee, looking sexy as hell as usual. And got a lot going on. I'm staying positive, staying focused. Obviously, I'm personally doing really well. I've just seen some, really stuff that's emotional stuff in this last week, including yesterday. And that does affect me. I've definitely seen some things. I've had a major burden finally removed in my life, something that, and I'm not going to talk about any of that yet. I may not ever, um, you know, but yeah, I've had a major burden lifted from my life that I took responsibility for. But yeah, so now I can focus on some other things. Um, and a lot of that has to do with things that I talk about of being a man of promises. I've made a number of promises to some people in the last few years who were close to me, and those promises cost me a lot, but I kept them. I kept them. You know, maybe stuff I'll talk about eventually one day. I'm trying to keep my private life just off the internet as much as possible. But yeah, I appreciate it, straight edge. If you drop me a like, man, I'd appreciate it so much, brother. Um, but yeah, you know, I've just seen some things. I've seen people who've gone through things. I mean, strange. Let's talk about it. Without going into details, I got to see someone I care about who was hit by a drunk driver um, yesterday in person. All the damage. Yeah, bad stuff, dudes. You know, and let's keep in mind, I'm saying that as someone who has been insanely anti-alcohol. Stay strong, coach. I mean, the bad time. My times are good. Let me be clear. Like um, my own personal, just me. I'm doing good. There's bad times with other stuff out there, and I'm at a good turning point, kind of in my life, where I can stay super focused, super productive, build my business back up. You know, make my money, do my thing. And then move to the next chapter of my life. But I've got to keep all the chapters of my life off the internet. I mean, I'm going to talk about some of that stuff. I'm going to probably be clear about. I'm probably going to just start auto banning for anyone asking certain too many things about my personal life. And what I mean by personal, I don't mean stuff from 5 years ago, 10 years ago. It's not what we mean. Personal life meaning things that go on in my life off camera for the last couple years. It's probably just going to be auto ban. Like, not even going to warn anymore. Even if they're someone who pays, for a channel membership, I'll just eat the money. Because I want to keep my personal life personal. I want a complete blackout of information at this point, just because of crazy people out there. But in the meantime, I'm going to discuss current events. That's what I want to talk about. We want to talk training. Let's talk nutrition. We can talk world events. We can talk philosophy. But Raymond, if you drop me a like, also I'd appreciate it, brothers. Get those likes up. You know, but yeah, you know. But no, I mean, for me personally, like I am personally in a good place. It's just I've seen a lot of stuff out there, some tragedies and nightmares, and all of it due to other people's insanity, untreated mental illness. I mean, even the Charlie Kirk thing. I mean, that's just straight mental illness, right? Um, I've seen death and carnage from drugs and alcohol, you know, and straight edge again, just based on your name. I have truly seen absolute nightmares as a result of drugs and alcohol. in my personal life, people in my life, people I care about. I've multiple people out there I care about who have absolutely suffered due to even other people's addictions, you know, and it's multiple people. And when I say suffered, I mean truly, truly suffered. Um, had their childhoods robbed from them, had their bodies broken. So when it comes to those things in sobriety, there's something I'm going to talk about a lot more. Yeah. And it's why you stay away from them full stop, and that's the reason that I will never touch alcohol again. I've seen so much more even since I've stopped. I've watched people that I care about, more than one, be truly hurt by it. I've had people come into my life whose certain parts of their lives were destroyed by other people's drinking, other people's addictions, and that's why I say the point. You can't become an alcoholic if you don't have the first drink. And I think people need to remember that when they have those conversations in moderation. It's like, if you don't have the first drink, you have no risk of it ever happening. And it's a very sad thing, when people say stuff like, well, you got to live a little. And it's like, but that's not living. That's not living. Same thing we talk about training. I could tell you straight up, I recover better now at 48 from heavy lifting than I did at 43 drinking. Not 43, when did I stop? 42, 41, because I've been over 6 years. So my early 40s, it's kind of hard, so I'm still waking up here. I'm on my first cup. My early 40s, I didn't recover as well while drinking than I do now at 48. And we know with age, it gets harder. So, I get guys who say stuff like, well, their tendons hurt and other things from the lifting as they get older. I'm like, do you still drink? I'm like, well, yeah. I'm like, well, think about that. Think about the inflammatory process in your body going on from even your moderate drinking. That's really good. 6 years of brows. Thank you. 6 years going on for life. Like I've done well. The only couple times I've been tempted to drink, I actually had to call someone on one of them. When my cousin died, I almost got drunk. Because I used to be the knee-jerk response. Like the anniversary of my mother's death, for over a decade, I got just completely shit-faced on the anniversary of her death. We just hit the 20-year mark. And I had family. Family knew that. My phone and my DMs lit up on that day. It's like, are you okay? We want to make sure you're good. It's like, I'm good. I'm like on the 20th anniversary this summer. It was this summer, actually. It wasn't that long ago. It was actually last month. People hit me up, like loved ones. Like I had multiple family members reach out to me, and then they were worried, because I had put something, I was tired or whatever, I was passing out for the night. They were panicking, like, did you get drunk? It's like, because it was the night before the 20th anniversary of my mother's death. Are you okay? You didn't drink, did you? I'm like, no, I'm good. I was just really tired. I popped a melatonin to knock out for the night. And I had messaged one of my aunts. I was about to pass out for the night. Who was messaging me because she didn't even bring up the anniversary yet. She was just, yeah, how are you doing? But no, I've done good with it. But when my cousin died, particularly because I was one of the last people to see him alive, he died like 4 or 5 hours after I left. And we thought everything was good. He was a month from retiring from SOCOM Command. Like he was at his 20 year. He was going out. He was getting all his benefits. He was literally a month from retirement. And I was hanging out with him that night, and we lost him. So, Yeah, so someone really close to me, I called them up who knows my history there because they used to drink with me on my mother's anniversary. And I'm like, hey, dude, I'm on my way to the store to buy a bottle of tequila, like right now. And he's like, what's if my cousin just died? And he goes, turn your stupid ass around and go home. And I did, but I stopped and called him, um, like, hey, man, I'm not in a good place, but that was a couple years ago. And since then, I've been good. I've been good. It's just that hit me hard. Um, but outside of that, that was my one most recent, and that's been over 2 years now, my most recent temptation. And I've been good, but I maintain an alcohol free household and stuff like everyone knows that. Like, I don't want it brought in my home. Like, I don't care if we're hanging out, whatever. My brothers want to come over. We're going to have a jam session. There's going to be no alcohol in my house. I don't allow it. And I'm very adamant about that. No, if I'm somewhere at a store, I'm not picking you up a drink. I'm not going and getting you a drink if we're all hanging out somewhere. Why can you pronounce humans as humans? What do you mean? That's how you say it. It's human. Deal with it. Your mom's a human. Yeah, that's how you pronounce the word. Hey, Sean, I know you pay, but I'm not going to put up with a whole lot of crap from you today. I was definitely learned how to do a lot of my talking. Get over it. As if you missed the first part of the conversation, I got to see somebody yesterday who I care about whose body was destroyed by a drunk driver. My tolerance for bullshit is about motherfucking zero. I'm in a good mood otherwise, but just letting you know, dude. It's real low, my friend. I mean, I'll be nice about it. But yeah, so, I know you pay for a membership, but if you don't like the way that I say words as someone who spent several years deaf as a child, not my problem. Sounds like a you problem. But what I am going to do is refill my coffee, and I'll be right back. All right, we're back. Sorry, although I didn't get you a coffee. Hey, Sean, how could you have been a long-term fan and not know that? I've talked about it a lot. All right. Anyone else training right now? I'm going to run here this morning. Be a running day for me. I was completely deaf for 2 years, and I was deaf for 7 or 8 in my left ear. My left ear is largely artificial. So I've got a giant scar behind my ear, actually. I've never personally seen it, but I've been told it's pretty big. No, I wasn't obese as a child. Who told you I was obese as a child? I was really skinny as a kid. I was obese as an adult. No, I was really sick as a kid, actually, so I was underweight. Oh, well, no, I mean, Sean, I talk about it a lot on here. I have severe dyslexia that changed the way I speak. Yeah, fair enough. Music. I'm deaf in my right ear too, so know that feeling, right? So yeah, I know. I mean, it was all this stuff was finished when I was 13 on the left ear. So I have a bone and skin tympanoplasty. So my eardrum is a piece of my thigh. My favorite position, bro? What a weird question. Why would you just have one? Mm. I just know you're intensely intelligent despite not being the most aesthetic. You're less aesthetic than Ulysses Jr. But why does anyone care about that? Like, why do people on the internet care about people's genetic aesthetics on a physique? No one cares in person, right? Like, women don't care. If you're in shape and fit, they don't care. Other people don't care or notice any of that. Only the only people who notice those things are people obsessed with like Instagram bodybuilding or fans of bodybuilding competitively. The rest of the world doesn't see those things, right? Just so that you're aware, I'm not even going to go further into that as far as, but there's genetics, dude, for that. But why does anybody care? Like, why does anybody care at all about that? It's such a tiny niche of people in a niche community that nobody else cares about. Yet they act like it's such a big deal. All right. Aldo says getting into passenger seat in a car in the UK and the driver tries to chat. I'm like, right, you're deaf in that one ear. You know. It's strange. People act like that matters outside of competitive bodybuilding. It's very something to think about. Right. You know. Jason, what do you think of the Z press for home gym owner with a low ceiling? I suppose it's viable. Suppose it's viable. I think it's a decent. I mean, I like the standing, but you could also just do a seated one. I mean, all things considered, you're probably going to get more out of a seated press than a Z press if you're not standing. Just my opinion. But if you wanted to get an overhead in, your ceilings are too low. You don't have a bench that will adjust up to that. I mean, you could do it. I don't see a problem with that. Right? I don't really see a problem there in that case. Hold on. All right. Um, I'm very aware that he liked that exercise, hence the name Z press. Hey Sean, why do you care what my IQ is? When will you compete? Well, Francis, I will not tell you ahead of time. No, I didn't go to because I went to two different high schools. Like my senior year was at a completely different high school in completely different states. So it's like I already was hanging out with all my friends from that second school. You know. So Francis, I'm going to give you the standing line I've been giving for 2 years straight. Are you ready? Yes, I will compete again. No, I will not tell you when. If I do tell you when, it will be a lie to distract people. Actually, I shouldn't even tell you the latter. I should just lie about it so I can have people who hate me waste resources. So I'll just simply put it as I'm not going to tell you when. I don't know unless I plan on hitting. I don't have a meet planned right now. Sean, I was a bouncer for a short time. It's not all it's cracked up to be. I did it for a little while. I guess there were fringe benefits. Was it annoying? No, that's actually the best part. What are you talking about? That was the fringe benefits. It's like the bartenders be hitting on you. Right? Used to make sure that they got to their car safe. I used to walk them out when they got off their shift. Make sure they got to their car unbothered. Sean, think about how silly that question is. I'm 48 and I'm not out here chasing random sex, and so no. You really think at my age I would want to be a bouncer, and for this small amount of money? Like I couldn't afford my lifestyle spending my time bouncing. Like it doesn't make enough money. Right? And it would interfere with my sleep and my training for what? Just you're being silly. Um, yeah, it can be a dangerous job. You know. I'm just gonna stop answering some of your goofball questions, Sean. Um, can full body 4 days a week, every other day work as a 3 day? Or I'd be very careful about full body 2 days in a row. Well, every other day. I mean, you could do it that way. I don't know why you need to. I mean, the 3 days works fine too every week. But if you're talking 4 days, so you'd be talking four, then three, four, then three. I mean, you could do it that way. I like having a set schedule through the week, personally. Like you train on specific days every week. But I mean, you could do that. Well, Sean, are we wanting me to go into a huge, long diatribe about these different systems? I mean, let's be fair. American healthcare is dramatically superior, but it's more expensive ultimately. But they're not comparable. I mean, let's be clear. Does anybody actually think UK NHS is remotely close to the quality that you get of private care in the US? It's like 3 tiers apart. The downside is that you'd be paying for it here. But a lot of times you have good work insurance, but you pay for it in the UK too. Everyone pays a mandatory tax. So, and this throws Americans off. Everybody pays income tax in the UK. Everyone who works pays income tax in the UK. A lot of Americans are going, wait, what? You may not be aware of this, but 40% of American households pay zero income tax in the United States. The poorest 40% don't pay taxes. Uh, Vagina gang. I don't know who she is. Hey, Francis, I don't know who that is. Sorry. Morning, Rufio. See, Rufio, I'm starting it there. There we go. We're going to hold consistent to the new pattern. Yeah. There's no other fitness influencers but me. I'm the only one that exists. I'm the only person who makes fitness content that I'm aware of on this platform. So I don't know who she is. Are laterals necessary for maximum side delt development? Probably not. They're useful. They're really useful. They're not necessary. I used to be a car enthusiast. I haven't been in a long time. And I get to the 40%. You just got to make really bad money or have lots of kids. I mean, so for example, if you make minimum wage in the US, you don't pay taxes. All right. All right, everybody. Hopefully people understand that. Like you don't pay income tax. I mean, you'll pay sales tax. You might pay property tax if you own a home or whatever. But generally speaking, outside of that, like 7 to 8% sales tax. The people who make minimum wage in the US, even with a full-time job, don't pay taxes. All right. Property taxes are probably the biggest expense here outside of the federal. They're not terrible, but they have a scam where they increase the value of your house though to try to hit you on the taxes. Let's see. How much? The calls are $100. Yes, Texas has large oil reserves. Do you think there's any difference in sleep quality between going to bed early or going to bed later? I think you get better sleep quality going to bed earlier. I'm in bed super early. That's why I'm up early. Right? I'm up at 4 a.m. a lot of days. I was up at 4 a.m. today, getting a couple things done. Getting it all did. Are you a fan of Romanian deadlifts? I think conventional deadlift is hands down better. I think RDL is a good exercise. I prescribe them to clients. I do them sometimes. Benjamin, I don't have a set bedtime. I go to bed when I feel like it, which is usually pretty early. I keep my doorbell turned off when I'm asleep too. So I can go ahead and say I go to bed early now because it used to be an issue of, hey, if we know it's bedtime, trolls could send people to my door to ring it. But since I have the doorbell turned off, that eliminates that problem. I'm in bed usually by 7 or 8 o'clock most nights. Could USA depend on only? Well, no, they would run out if they used all of our reserves. Does you think that you can dip 3 plates? I don't know. I mean, I full range of motion the way I do them now, no. But I've done doing just stopping at parallel. I've done sets of 10 with 2 plates. So could I possibly do 3 to that just that parallel? Yeah, but it's not going to give the same growth of going all the way down like I do. You know, it's an inferior training stimulus. Privacy healthcare in Mexico is very good, in my opinion. I have no idea. I don't know. What a weirdo. Kapow, get out of here. Jason, you more proud of you? I don't know. I don't know how to answer that. Hey, Rufio, I'm not going to go into details any further on that. Makes sense, because when there's pending stuff like that, this is not stuff you want to really be putting out there a whole lot for obvious reasons. Like if I were to reveal their name or whatever, they could use it in their defense and claim they can't get a fair trial because of it and try to get the charges dropped. So why would you want to do stuff like that? Do you think it's bad to not do any ab training during the week? It's up to you, man. Straight edge, my shoulders starting to feel better. Doing bench wider, close grip. My shoulders don't seem like it. Thankfully, I can do them wide. Yeah, Rufio, I'm definitely going to start cutting out having almost no discussions at all of anything involving my current personal life. I'm probably just going to start banning people without warning, because I need to keep my current life off the internet as much as possible. So I'm going to do my best to not discuss those, and I'm just going to start banning anyone. It's just best that way, right? It's just better if I do that. Jason, will you collab with any fitness? I don't know. I don't know who any of those are. What are those? I don't know who Gymsharks is. Is she hot? All right. Jason, do you like riding bikes? Literally. Sean, I have Meniere's disease. All right. I can assure you the last thing I would ever want to do is try to get on a bike and ride it down the street. Like, that's a nightmare scenario. Like, yeah, stuff that I will not be doing. Right. Yeah. Is sending a pic to ChatGPT to check nothing that ChatGPT does is accurate. You are aware, have you not done research on this stuff? You are aware these AI tools are not very accurate for anything. They're not even accurate at doing summaries of research. They actually get it wrong. Stop relying on all this AI stuff that's not good enough to get the job done. I don't know why people keep doing this. Like, people love to take AI summaries and arguments, and they literally get stuff wrong. Do you still think movements that move your body through space have a different effect? Man, Benjamin, we could argue about that. I think they do have an additional benefit, and I think a lot of it's neurological, though. But yeah, they're generally going to be better exercises, right? The opposite of what all these clowns keep doing. Hey, please don't call them evidence-based or science-based, because they're not. So the guys who say stuff like removing stabilizers causes more muscle growth, please do not call them science-based, because they're absolutely not science or evidence-based making those statements. They're lazy clowns who ignore science, or else they wouldn't say those things, right? And I think that's a fair statement. I'm not really a fan of AI. I'm concerned, like many experts, that AI will cause the extermination of the human race if we're not extremely careful. and we're not being careful. Right? And these are concerns by leading experts. These are not concerns of people who just watch movies. So just be aware of that. Hey, Francis, if you want an accurate body fat, you need to go get a DEXA scan. I mean, that's all I can tell you. Like, if you really and truly want to know the number, you need to go get a DEXA scan. That's the most accurate assessment you have. So if the number is really that important to you to know, $100, a couple hours of your time, done. You can go find out. But anything short of that, you're just guessing. I think people need to get trained in AI prompt engineering just to get AI to work right. But you're talking just answering questions. We can get into a whole lot of other problems. Like, one of the things that some of the top people have said, like programmers on it, right, is they know how to fix one of the biggest problems it has with the 30% error rate, but people are not going to like it. Like, people are going to really not like it, who are the users. And it's to start programming AI to when it doesn't have the answer to tell them, I don't know. Because as it stands now, when like even ChatGPT does stuff, 30% of the answers it gives is completely fabricated because it doesn't actually know and it can't figure it out. So it just makes it up instead of just saying it doesn't know or it's not sure. But as it stands, around 30% of its answers are, from what I'm reading, it doesn't really know, and it just, yeah. It just gives you an answer that it thinks you'll want to hear, even if it's highly detailed, instead of just saying, I don't really know, I'm not sure. So that's like a third of the answers it kicks out. So that's every third question on average you would get that response if they program it to be honest. There's no actors for Hollywood roles are ever done. There's no reason to ever think an actor does a natty transformation. Why would they? You know, we've discussed this many times. There's no reason for an actor to be natty. I know it's a far cry to think that actors would put drugs into their body to make millions of extra dollars. I know, because we know that as a general rule, Hollywood actors are known for being completely anti-drug and sobriety, and as a demographic, they're well known for avoiding all drugs and alcohol and anything that could be harmful to their body. Right? Like, this is normal in Hollywood culture. They're very, very healthy people, right? We know this. So, you know, I'm being facetious, but you see where I'm going. Yeah, dude, he'll drink whiskey and snort coke, but they would never use steroids to make millions of dollars, you know. As a general rule, when any person ever makes the claim that they're natural for health reasons, they choose not to do steroids for health reasons, but they drink alcohol or smoke weed, I know they're a liar. Right? And I think that's a fair assumption. Like, just assume as a default assumption, any person who uses harmful recreational drugs, even if they're legal, like, because smoking anything is bad for you. Like, if you actually smoke weed, you don't care about your health. I'm not saying edibles. If you drink alcohol, you don't really care about your health that much. Right? Just be honest. So if they claim they don't take steroids due to the health concerns, you know they're a liar. Like that is a red flag for a fake natty, right? Every time. All right, but back over review. Coach thoughts on far right nationalist parties gaining traction. What do you expect when the left has gone as far and crazy as it has? Pendulum swing the other direction. It's concerning. Review. Hey, Francis, I have no idea. I mean, considering his height, I can't possibly be. Right? How am I supposed to be bigger than a guy who's 6'4" at 240? You just can't. I mean, how will you ever have more muscle than a guy who's 6'4" and lifting weights? I've done whole videos on The Rock and status updates and discussed it in lives in detail. I've gone into The Rock situation in vast detail when it happened. You're way behind. All right. Yeah, it's worrying, but I mean, that's what you expect to happen. I already answered that one, Sean. I don't feel the need to answer it again. We already had a whole discussion on that in this live stream while you were here. Yeah. No, he didn't do it for a movie. That's a great excuse. I mean, we've discussed this already, Benjamin. He did it because he needed to do it years ago for his health. Like he needed to downsize. He needed to come off the gear and go down to just like TRT. So yeah, he lost like 50, 60 pounds of muscle by just going to a replacement dose of test probably. So he'd be on TRT still. It'd be silly to think he's not. But he needed to do that for his general health. So then having a movie role is a great way to justify it. I downsized for the movie role instead of, hey guys, I came off all the heavy doses of gear for my health. Because I'm in my 50s and I've had heart issues. And by the way, that's not speculation. That's confirmed. The heart issues thing. So you have a guy who's had some minor heart issues, who's a multimillionaire, who's carrying that sort of muscle in his 50s. He says, yeah, it's time to survive. I don't understand your question, Sean. Please ask it a different way. You've been asking stupid questions all stream, Sean. Pull your head in. I literally have only not banned Sean because he's a paying channel member. He asks absurd questions nonstop. Jason, is it possible to build muscle after 30 years old while being natty? Yes. It's been done in the lab. Like this is confirmed with actual human research. So let's set aside all anecdote, all real life experience, and only look at what's been done in the lab. Yes, it has been done numerous times in test subjects in the lab repeatedly. That it's possible to do it over age 50. Right? We have actual studies of 55-year-old men who start lifting and gain muscle. Right? So not only is it possible, it has been proven. Right? Sleepy and haven't had a good day. I'm a huge fan. Right? But think about some of the questions you ask in general. Just think them through, dude. All right. Oh. Facebook is really slow this morning. I never know. Sometimes I'll get 1,000 views later. I'll ask better questions, Jason. All right, cool. Straight edge. Do you feel you can digest brown rice? Well, I love brown rice for some reason. It makes me feel. I like it because of the fact that it fills you up and then you poop a lot out. The places you live in your life. How long do I need to have been there to count it as living there? And what do we define as places? You just want large general regions? So if I stayed somewhere 2 or 3 months, okay, it won't count that. Okay, so any place I've lived at least 6 months. And if we stick with large general regions, it's only going to be 3 places. Texas, New Mexico, and the United Kingdom. Rufio, it should be to join, should be everywhere. Try the community tab. Let me see, let me hit the thing from my channel. So usually if you just go to my channel page, it should be a membership tab. That should get you there. Do you think The Rock's weight loss could mean less movie roles for him? Maybe, but who cares? He's famous enough, he's not going to have trouble getting movie roles. Let's be realistic. And does it matter? Do you know that man's net worth? The Rock could walk away and never do another movie and be set for life. Extremely comfortable. He's worth like $30 or $40 million, maybe more. And also, dude, he's in his 50s, man. You can't walk around that big. Oh, never mind. I missed the mark so much. I didn't realize he was that wealthy. His net worth is $800 million. Hey, music, why do you want to know what city I lived in New Mexico as a teenager? It just seems a little weird. Do you still eat large bowls? You literally see all my food. I mean, I post every meal I eat on social media every day. Come on, dude. So I don't know. Do I still eat large bowls of plain yogurt? No, literally every night I post screenshots of all my food for the day. Every single day, 7 days a week. I take pictures of my food. Hey, Rufio, I don't know them. There should be a thing under every video too. Hold on. Let me see how it works. Yeah. Okay, hold on. Let me get the thing to join. Never mind, there's an actual join. It's literally under every single video. Let me copy the link. All right. Well, of course, we're not meant to carry that much muscle mass. I mean, how much drugs do you think The Rock has to use to hold the size he had? Like, a serious question, do you really think he was only using like 500 milligrams a test? He's not at that size level. That's a pretty hefty load of PEDs and anabolics to be at that size. Right? So, yes, of course, we're not meant to be that big. Nobody in the history of the world has ever gotten that size just from lifting weights. I just want to know how different places. Well, so as a teenager, I spent 3 years in Farmington, New Mexico, up in the mountains, right by the Colorado border. And then when I was 17, my dad's work transferred him back to Houston. So it was all due to my dad's work. It was all based on my dad's job. So and he was in the natural gas industry. So, what would be your estimate? 1+ grams. Yeah, Benjamin. I mean, look at his size. So The Rock was clearly on a gram or more of gear plus growth hormone, probably insulin at different points, all that stuff. Shia LaBeouf. Yeah. No, the Rock is not a conservative dose. Again, look at his size at his peak. Yeah, I reckon upwards. I mean, so yeah, let's go at what's reasonable. What would be a reasonable estimate of the sort of stacks that the Rock would have done to be at the size he's at? Probably about 2 grams. Wouldn't be unbelievable, right? I don't think that's an unreasonable guess. There's definitely growth hormone, right? We're sure that you can tell from the look. 100% on growth hormone too. Probably a little insulin and or IGF-1 in there. Yeah. Yeah. Probably, yeah. Again, based on his size at his biggest, it's again, assuming he's on insulin too, wouldn't be unreasonable. I mean, that's a perfectly reasonable guess. So if someone were put on the line, it'd be like, if you get it really close, the closer you would guess it, the more money we'll give you, right? Like if you get in the ballpark, we'll give you $1,000, and if you can get the more accurate you get, we'll add more money. So if like literally I was going to get paid to guess, right? Like real money. Like I was going to get paid, the closer my guess was, the more money we make, you know? Whereas if I guessed it within 1%, I'd get like 100 grand, right? I would go with 2 grams of test and or assorted anabolics. I would go with 8 to 10 units of HGH, and I'm going to guess insulin at whatever amount he needed. Like there's no way you're going to guess an insulin dose. I think would be a perfectly reasonable estimate. You know, best educated guess. You know, and I guarantee you, I'm not far off the mark there. All right. Well, I don't know about that, yeah, but as Mindy Skelton just calls it, he's too famous to not have some effed up stuff going on. Who knows? Maybe. Do you think he would have been as strong as you on at least some level? He should have been. I don't see why he wouldn't. At that size, there's no way he's not stronger than me. There's just no way. Right? Size equals strength potential. Yeah. No, Jage, I think we're on the same page pretty much as far as thinking what he's on. And let me go check your channel out. Yeah, you're obviously a serious lifter. You have experience. You kind of know what dudes use. You know, you're a pretty strong dude. So you've been around it. Yeah, I can't imagine The Rock not being stronger than me, all things considered. Thank you, bro. Appreciate that. What else we got going, fellas? I think his body fat would be, I don't know. I mean, his body fat changed a lot, Benjamin. So I need you to find, we would have to find a specific picture to even estimate. That makes sense. It's not like people stay at the same body fat all the time. Like nobody does. So that doesn't work. Oh, all right. Hey, music. Yeah, that's very personal questions. We don't do that. All right. So Benjamin, without seeing a specific picture at a specific date, we couldn't even estimate. I don't think dudes understand how lean 8% body fat is. I don't think I've ever seen The Rock at 8% body fat, though. Hello from the UK, coach. How you doing? I'm just bored. Yeah, this time of day I get a lot of Brits in here. I don't get as many Americans. This is a lot of my British crowd in the mornings. I even see the super chats. They're always in pounds or euros. They're just coffee chats. Right? I wonder if Rufio found the channel membership and joined. A lot of wrestlers actually have that puffier look to them, but look waterier look. It's not just a drug just because they're not running around at those low body fats. And it's not necessary. And I mean, this should tell you guys everything, right? You guys remember when The Rock was voted sexiest man of the year? Right? There's 30 people. Yeah, let's get those likes up. And I want dudes to think about this when they think in terms of what's appealing. If I were to show you guys a picture of what The Rock looked like when he was considered the sexiest man in the world, on the internet today, they would be like, dude, who's this fat F? Who's this fat piece of shit by internet standards? What a dad bod. If people are getting injured right away doing exercise or even just moving heavy, no, they need to learn what they're doing. No, lifting is for them. They need to fix their form, fix what they're doing. Right? But, you know. Prue's a perfect example. I mean, The Rock was a sex icon right there. Do you think Andrew Tate is a clown? He's the king of the incels. Andrew Tate is an absolute clown. Absolute clown. And he is very clearly, based on things he has written, very clearly in the closet. Like, this is not even up for debate. But yeah, he's the king of the incels. What do you mean? Why do I think that? It's very clear that he is not only in the closet, his contempt for women comes from the fact that he's in the closet. So, perfect example. Like when I read his post that he made a few years back, when he explained why any man who kisses women is gay, he pretty much outed himself. He literally made a serious write-up and explanation that explained why any man who kisses women is gay. It's like, okay, dude, see where we're going with this. And dudes are following him for advice, right? Coach, would you recommend dumbbell pullover on the bench or lying across the bench? Do you recommend adding them to a program? Yeah, they can have their place. As far as across the bench versus laying, it depends on what you're trying to get with it. As far as where you're getting the stretch and the muscles work. So cross bench, if you drop the hips, puts a certain type of stretch. Definitely great for the lats and everything. Laying a long ways on the bench where you're locked into place and your hips can't move, probably a little better for your pecs. So it's just a matter of really what you're trying to do with the stretch on the movement. But both can absolutely work. It's real hard though, cross bench though, to get real heavy on it though. You're not going to be able to lift the same weights, right? So if you've seen me do them like with 2 plates pinched together, I got to be laying long ways on the bench to do that for 10 to 12 reps, right? Because you've seen me do them with a pair of 45s pinched together, right? Thanks, Coach. I'm just trying to grow lats and serratus. Oh, you're talking dumbbells. Yeah, I always use plates. Because my loadable dumbbells, I'd be worried about the collar slipping off and the plate busting my face. So I always use plates. You know, but my heaviest, I got up to using a pair of 45s just pinched. It's just good grip training too. Yeah, you see exactly what I'm saying. And then there's others, but I think some of those really highlight he was probably 17, 18% body fat during a pretty big chunk of his career, making millions, and was a sex icon. My mom passed 20 years ago this summer. So I would have to be 28 mathematically. So I was 28. So yeah, last month was the 20 year anniversary of her passing. It's really awkward. I'm used to using a 43 kilogram and getting the overhead is difficult. I'm thinking of taking them out. What would you recommend? Yeah, I don't know. I mean, so what? It gets awkward. Well, switch the plates and try it with a couple plates and lay down on the bench. No, man, just run with it. Pullovers work the long head of the triceps. Yeah. I mean, biomechanically, absolutely. You could look at it and tell. Yeah, not a good age to lose your mom. True. Is there ever a good age to lose your mom, though? I mean, I suppose if you're going to lose your mom, ideally you'd want to be 50 or 60 years old when it happens. But, you know, you'd want to be up into your older age and know that she lived a long, full life. And, Right? But there's no real good age to lose your mom. Suppose that would be the best, the lesser of evils. The lesser of evils. Hey, Yeva, why are you asking me about my personal life? You know that's off limits, right? We don't discuss any of that. Plus, I have like 9 ex-girlfriends, so I'm not sure. It's like, oh. Coach, my teacher is telling me time under tension is important as a mechanical tension. Every time I try to tell him it's wrong, he gets mad at me. What teacher? What teacher is he? What do you think time under tension? Time under tension is not a fact. How do we put this? Yes, because you can't move at the speed of light. Time under tension technically matters. But it's the time itself is not really a factor to the way that people think it is. Time under tension is used for code for let's just go really, really, really slow. That they don't actually mean time under tension. They're promoting that. I would destroy your teacher in a debate on this. Are they an actual exercise science teacher or is this an English professor? They're an exercise science professor, and they think that time under tension is a factor. So what do they mean it's important? So just go take him the studies showing that really slow eccentrics don't cause muscle growth faster than normal eccentrics and ask him, how does this fit into his time under tension paradigm? It's not one of the main drivers of hypertrophy. Mechanical tension is the primary driver of hypertrophy. I mean, we could argue mechanical tension is really the only driver of hypertrophy at the end of the day. Thoughts on creatine utility for cognitive function? There's some evidence to support that. Yes, I did go to college. We won't go into all that now. Thoughts on creatine utility? There's reasonable evidence to support this idea. Yeah, I would destroy him in a debate on this. Like I would destroy him if he's actually saying that the tension time itself is relevant. And I understand, so you can take him to this, Mark. I fully understand that obviously time matters because you can't do 50 reps in a quarter of a second. Okay. We're dealing with the laws of physics and we are bound by space time. But the tension time itself is absolutely not relevant. In that regard, is an actual variable. Ultimately, hypertrophy is driven by mechanical tension on the individual muscle fiber. And yes, there's a fatigue component to that. But if he's trying to say that the time under tension matters, meaning that you could just do slower reps and it will actually improve hypertrophic outcomes, he's full of shit. And he better be glad that he doesn't have to coach people for a living and get results, and he just has to teach classes. All right. You can't make that as an absolute statement. Is excessive saturated fat bad for you? Yes. Are you automatically going to have excessive saturated fat by eating steak and eggs? No. Do pre-workout ingredients such as inositol actually increase cognitive function? I don't know. Probably not. I would like to try creatine, but I don't like the hair loss. I think that's been debunked. All right. Let's see. Let's get over to other stuff. Again, I don't know why people want to obsess over my past relationships or even know about it. So you're a fucking stalker. Kapow. Get the fuck off my channel. See how easy that is? I'm going to train you guys to not do this stuff. All right. Give this live a dang right, guys. Come on. There you go. Tell them, man. Need more oomph in those kapows. Well, it's morning. I don't have them in the morning. In the afternoon, I'm more lively. I'm still kind of in my wake up flow, man. I'm super chill in the mornings. Like it's just my nature. It's why my workout time I'll just calm and then my place is zen, you know. But those afternoon ones, that's when I do the big kapow. You know. Rufio, did you find the membership when I linked it now? Are you I'm just on a replacement dose of test sip. Do you find not having a normal J job? No. All right. Can having a normal day job hurt your social life, depending on how much you work? You know? Are eggs good for breakfast? So there's not a clear answer on that. In terms of eggs themselves are phenomenal for muscle growth and other things. They have a lot of benefits. What you need to be concerned about is, are you personally genetically prone to elevated LDL from eggs? And without blood work, I can't tell you how many. It's a pretty big chunk of the population doesn't see any negatives at all, but it's genetics. So until you consume some eggs and go see what happens with your LDL, I don't have an answer. Make sense? And I don't know why we needed to have 4 breakfasts. Like I've said many times, having individual specific foods for breakfast or dinner is cultural programming. It's not fitness related. Like, why can't you eat chicken and rice for breakfast? I do. So why do you need to eat different foods for breakfast than you would eat for lunch or dinner? Like, do people actually believe there's some physical or emotional need for this? It's when you really think about it, it's kind of strange. And for some people, it literally interferes with their fitness because they believe they have to have certain things. Wouldn't it be for high fiber? Oh, we British, we got that fibery. Got that British spelling. We start my day with a big plate of spinach or bucket, right? McDonald's thinks so. Okay. Yeah. I do chicken and brown rice for breakfast, by the way, if you're actually curious. It's a pretty common breakfast. Well, I may starting them with a protein shake. My day, I'll break my fasted window with a protein shake. I'll probably get leaner doing that. So, speaking of which, if you guys want to buy proteins, I have my Amazon wish list linked. People do actually buy me protein off there. I've had a couple different people do. So feel free to do so. Got my fish oil in there. Got some Vibrams. So I threw an Amazon watch in there, smartwatch, because someone told me I should get one. So I'm like, well, I'm not want to buy one myself, but if someone thinks I need one, I'll throw it in there. Have you ever tried? Why would I? Why would I throw money away on a bodybuilding meal prep service when I work from home, have access to my full kitchen, and I'm considered by most people to be a phenomenal cook? Let me reiterate. I am known in most of my circles as being a really good cook. So, why exactly do I need this? Why would I throw away money on this? Exactly. Unless it was free. Like, are you saying, would a bodybuilding meal prep service provide all my food for free and then sponsor me? I'd consider it. I'd consider it in that situation. Like, if they're going to, sponsor me, okay. But would I pay money to do something I already can do just fine, that I enjoy doing and I'm really good at? Seems kind of silly, doesn't it? Just noting, I am known for my cooking skills. So again, the internet perception versus real life, that is something that Jason Blaha as a person is known for, his cooking skills. Right? As far as tracking calories, do we need to track calories? I mean, do we need to perfectly track calories? Is it really that important? Short of prepping for a bodybuilding show. But how many pro bodybuilders don't even do that? Even Michael Hurd said one time he doesn't track calories. He said it in the video, he's like, I don't track calories. Let that sink in for a moment. Right. I've made a case for that. I've made a pretty good case for a lot of guys who are not trying to hit exact specific weight change goals, that they just want to recomp and just improve their physique and performance. It's not actually necessary to track calories. It's only necessary to track calories if you have absolute targets in body weight. I've done some pretty detailed videos on that, honestly. Keep in mind, there's a lot of people out there you could think of when you actually ask them, they don't track. I love it when you see interviews of people start talking to with great physiques. Older dudes are like, I actually don't track anything. Like, I just eat really clean with lots of protein. Right. And keep in mind how different stuff affects thermic effect. It's not that calories don't matter. It's that a lot of times things you're consuming are different. In other words, even what you eat affects calories out easily by 1,000 calories. What do you think? I don't know that we need to, for most of the time, to actually, I don't think we should be bulking at all, unless you're skinny. I mean, we can make a case, and I have clients who do lean bulk, and we do that, but I don't want clients. Some of them do it anyways, but even then, I don't really want clients gaining over a pound a month. Not that I don't have some who do it and choose to do more, but it's not my advice. Right? But unless you need to actively bulk, I mean, I would ask the question, do you really need to? You might need to cut at certain points. Okay. You have a certain body fat you need to get down to. But generally speaking, I don't think that we have to actually bulk or cut. I don't think that people have to track calories just to get a good physique and to have good body composition and to be elite level strength. It's just saying it's not strictly necessary, and not everyone wants to do it. It may not be convenient. All right. I mean, that's fair. You're 5'10" at 155. Yeah, you're at a lighter body weight, so for that height. So you're probably really lean then. You just do a slowly, but you don't necessarily have to track to do that. You could just add more carbs. What are your recommendations for food intake? I mean, I've broken down if you wanted to do macros of certain minimums for overall health, but those are going to be case by case. So you're looking for specific record. There are no general recommendations. My recommendations would be based on what you're doing and where you are. Right. I do consultations on this stuff pretty regularly. So my recommendations are now at consultation level, like in a call, needing to see what you're doing and break down strategies. So, and I do those, but I would never, I don't make general recommendations just for it's not wise. Other than I've given some macro stuff. My bench is still novice because of my shoulder issues, but it's now going up finally. It's just lagging behind a bit. Okay. Cool. All right. The sun is coming up. Why is it so much brighter in the camera than it is when I look out the window? It looks like full daylight in that screen, but when I look to the left, it's still kind of dark. All right. Yeah, I'll probably run today. We're gonna get a run in. All right. You know. All right, guys. We've been in here a little while. I might wind this down. Even though we got no supers this morning. Oh well. We did yesterday though. We got them yesterday. I'm gonna do more. I think I need to not do as many just informatives though. More lives, more shorts to get me the most traction. I'm still going to keep informatives in, but I may scale them back a little. All right. Hey Zach, why would you even bring that nonsense up? So I'm probably just going to ban you. Yep. Like to even discuss that stuff is inappropriate. You don't get to post here anymore. All right, Rufio, I'm out. You guys have a great day and a great Sunday, and I'll probably do a running vlog here later. But we're out.